I've already been asked this, but your character's name is Jackie Torrance, and is there a connection to The Shining?
Jackie, who I play, brushes up very closely with a famous King character.
That's a good answer. Were you a big fan of King before you started?
I was not a fan, but not because I didn't like it, but because I didn't know enough about his work. I've learned so much about him through working on the show, and I've become a huge fan. Just such a fascinating person, like really no comparison. And so smart and interesting, and I didn't know how epic Stephen King was. Like, I didn't know that Shawshank Redemption was a Stephen King book. I didn't know that The Shining was a Stephen King book. I learned all these things through working on the show, and I'm honored to be a part of the universe, for sure.
So as you continue to delve into your character more and more, are you anything you're surprised to learn about yourself?
Myself, Jane? Actually, sort of. So my character is the town taxi driver. She's the self-proclaimed historian of Castle Rock. She's kind of like you. I'm assuming you guys are Stephen King fans. She's like a huge fan. And she's a huge, like, she's extremely proud of being from Castle Rock. She thinks, like, the legends she's grown up on hearing are like the coolest shit ever. However, it's never really happened in her lifetime. And she's like, wah, wah, like, when is this going to happen to me, guys? Like, is this even real? And then in the episode 1, Henry Deaver shows up. She catches wind that this young person was found in a cage in the bottom of Shawshank, and she's like, let's go, this is what I've been fucking waiting for my whole life. And I've done horror films before, and when I first started working on horror, I was like, I don't really get it. I'm just like got hired for this thing. It was a really fun experience. But the truth, like, and when I was working on Jackie, who's like a huge fan of the macabre and anything dark, my dad reminded me, which I totally didn't remember, that when I was a kid, truthfully, with no irony, wanted to be a coroner because I thought it would be cool to cut people open. And then I started to remember, like, all of the dark shit that goes on in my head, and I was like, maybe I am an actual huge horror fan. Like, whenever a horror movie comes out, it's the only thing that will absolutely without fail get me to the movie theater. So yeah, like through playing Jackie, I'm like, yeah, there is, like, I am a pervert. I am like interested in like crossing the line and doing things I'm not allowed to, and the horror genre allows for that. And so I guess I playing Jackie brought out my inner horror fan girl.
How much of her backstory do we actually get to see?
You see some. Yeah, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
I fondly remember the show Suburgatory, and you had the suburban horror there. How does it compare to the horror you realize in Castle Rock?
It's totally different. Suburgatory was brighter and funnier. Chatswin was the name of the town, and Castle Rock is much more grim.
But did you learn anything from your work at Suburgatory for Castle Rock?
I would say no.
Well, since she's a taxi driver, I imagine she has the opportunity to interact with a lot of people, especially down the road. What can you say about the most important relationships?
Well, I do think she chose becoming a taxi driver because she likes to be in other people's business and like eavesdrop and shit. Her closest relationship is with Molly, Melanie Linsky's character, and which is really fun for me because I adore Melanie and we're friends IRL. And her most important relationships, I would say that's her most important relationship, but she does there comes a time where her and Henry show up at the same place at the same time, and without realizing it, need each other and help one another out.
I know you were just briefly in Twin Peaks, but I wanted to to tap into both of them, why do you think Americans are so fascinated with the notion that small town, picturesque small town America is somehow a facade for something far more sinister?
I don't think it's just Americans, because my favorite shows of small town is like Broadchurch,
Yep.
Top of the Lake,
Yep. Both great.
Twin Peaks. I think that it's my actual favorite genre, small town mystery. I just watched The Sinner. I'm a little late, but I was like, this is so fucking good. I think it's like when you're in a small space and there's like generational history, there's like neighbors that like, you know each other's good stuff and bad stuff. That's like really juicy grounds for drama. And also like, yeah, I think like the most dramatic things are actually the most simple. And it's also such a scary idea to think that the town itself might be the villain, at least for Castle Rock. And that's how I felt when I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre for my first time when I was a kid. I was like, that's the scariest idea in the whole world, that a whole town is against you. I mean, this is a little different because it's the town itself. Yeah. Sort of answered your question.
It was previously discussed at this table, and I don't remember who said it, but that acting on the show was a collaborative effort. Can you talk a bit about that? In that, I mean, it feels like everyone who's involved with the show, in some way or another, is a fan of the genre or a fan of Stephen King's work. To really bring this to life, how did that come about on set? The collaborative.
My character sort of just pops in and pops out and just like shows up standing behind you randomly. So first of all, I'm gonna backtrack. Got to work with like such amazing actors, so that makes your job really easy. But yeah, my character isn't necessarily like forming my relationships with characters isn't like forming the arc of the show. Jackie is like a pop here and a pop there. So, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Stephen King destroys Castle Rock in one of his books, doesn't he?
I don't know.
I was just wondering if that was looming and then he's looming anyway.
That's cool. I don't know that.
That would be the last season.
Yeah, totally. It just implodes.
Was it hard for you to work on a project
Yeah, I mean, that can be tricky, I guess. Like, not being able to build like an arc because you don't know where your character is going, but at the same time, like, that's life, and like art imitates life, so like, I don't know, Jackie doesn't know where it's going, but yes, as an actor, it was sometimes tricky.
He has a very devout fan base. Is there any like nerves connected to being a part of a project that adapts?
Well, I was in the Evil Dead remake, so I've already been there. Like, once you've done an Evil Dead remake, I don't think there's many things that you could like. Any other fans that you could scare you more?
To feed off of that, what has it been like for you to see the fandom and excitement even online on social media for this series?
It's really cool. There are really no fans like horror fans, and it's so awesome. Like, all you can ask for is that people like watch your stuff and connect to it, and so Comic-Con's the perfect place for this show, and I think we're all really excited to be here.
It's really gone out of the box with a lot of its marketing for the show. Has there been a particular thing that you've really responded to that you think they've done well?
I'm really excited for this haunted house. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going tomorrow, and I think that's pretty awesome. I love haunted houses. And yeah. Thank you, guys.
People say it wasn't me. It was this place.